Hello, and welcome to the Maki Studio training series. I'm CJ Farrell, and in this video series, I'm going to show you guys how to get started, up and running with our brand new iPad switcher app called Maki Studio. Now, the first thing that you're going to need to do is order the Maki Studio control surface. Now, this is the hardware controller that unlocks the iPad to use with Maki Studio. And so you'll need this, and once you unbox it, it will look something like this, which is our hardware control surface. Now, this is a Bluetooth connection to the iPad, and all it needs to power up is a USB-C connection. And so you can power this off your laptop, or you can even buy a USB hub for the iPad like so. For this one, I have the Ethernet connection coming into my NDI network, so I can bring in all my cameras. I have power running into here, and then you can also plug in like a hard drive or an audio interface, and basically everything will just run through a USB-C hub and then come into the USB-C connection over the iPad. And speaking of iPad, you will need one of those to run Maki Studio as well. And we do have some of the minimum specs on our website under the tech specs page for Maki Studio at birddog.tv. And so we do recommend the iPad Pro, specifically the M series, as the best experience for doing multicam production with graphics and recording. And so now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the iPad and show you guys how to get started. So if I flip over here to this screen, this is the App Store. And so all I'll need to do is look up Maki Studio on this, and then it's gonna be a free download. And what happens is it's a free download. You can bring in a camera to see how it works. And then the control surface is the thing that it's gonna look for to enable you to use the app in full. So I'll go ahead and download the Maki Studio app right here and give it a second. It'll download, and then we'll go through all the steps to get this thing started. So once I hit open, it's going to ask me, first thing, I need to turn on Bluetooth, and that's how I'm going to connect the control surface to the iPad to control it. So we'll go ahead and go to our settings, and then it's going to ask us if we want access to our photo library, if you want to bring in media. So I'll say full access. I'm going to allow to use the camera, and then I'm going to allow for Bluetooth devices, and I will allow for my microphone. And then now I'm going to turn on my Bluetooth. And so now we're going to be looking for the control surface connection. So I have a USB-C cable coming out just at my computer. Like I said, you can use the dongle if you want as well, but I will go ahead and plug this guy in right here to the in port. You can also, if you have a USB hub, you can also like power your phone with an out port as well. So once I plug this in, you'll see it flash, and there's going to be a little green light, and then it'll turn red once it's connected. And you can see right here, I have BirdDog Switcher that has shown up as a device. Now, once I go into Maki Studio, if you click it, it'll say, I think it'll say fail, but it's looking for Maki Studio to pair to this device. So if I open back up Maki Studio, you will actually see that I now have at the top, there's no spinning icon, and this device is connected. So if I use my T-bar, let's see, let me move this. If I use my T-bar, you'll actually see that it is now connected to the app, and I can switch through like so. So that's all you have to do to connect the control surface to the iPad. And then now let's go ahead and bring in some cameras into Maki Studio. So if I go down to the camera tab right here on the bottom, the first thing to get started is we will go ahead and bring in an NDI camera. Now you do have a built-in camera option. So for any of these things, if you press and hold and then click enable, you can see this is the camera on the back of my iPad. You can also press and hold that icon and rotate it. So now we're at the front. So you can use the built-in camera if you'd like, just as a reference camera. It's up to you. If you want to make that disappear, you can hit the gear wheel. And then under camera mode, if you just hit UVC, which you can bring UVC cameras into this as well, that will make the option disappear until there's a UVC camera that is pulled in. So now I want to go ahead and pull in my studio camera that we were looking at earlier as an NDI source. So on this top left one, if I go ahead and press and hold, and then I'm going to click settings, and then now it's going to scan through all of my NDI sources. So I'm going to make sure that I say allow, and this will now look over that Ethernet connection that I made earlier, and this is all the cameras that I can see on my network. Now notice it's not just Maki cameras, it's anything from our outdoor camera to vMix NDI feeds. You can bring in any full or HX NDI source into here. So the first one I want to do is this BirdDog camera, which is my studio camera. So you'll click it, you'll get a little check mark, and then I'm just going to hit back. And then once that is paired, you'll press and hold again, and then you will click enable. Now you will see I am in Maki Studio. So now I can click on that, and now I'm in preview. I can use my T-bar, and now I'm in program. If I press 1 in the preview, you now have basic hardware control, and this is how you bring in cameras to Maki Studio. So now let's go ahead and just bring another camera in as well, and I'm gonna actually do my Maki Live, which is sitting right here wirelessly. Now you can bundle these up. These are a great pair with Maki Studio because you can use these wirelessly with Maki Studio. So I'm connected to my Wi-Fi network as well. So I have the hardline connection, which is bringing in this camera you're looking at, and then I'll have a Wi-Fi connection as well on the iPad, which I'll connect to this. So in order to connect to the Maki Live, let's go ahead and minimize this, and we'll open up the Maki Live app, which is a free app on the iOS store. We'll go ahead and press plus, and then I'm gonna say Wi-Fi client mode, because this is gonna say connect to my office network. And then it's right here, I'll type in the password for the Wi-Fi network that I want to connect to. I will hit next, and then this will scan for the devices. So there's that camera next to me. You will click it, it'll say configuring, and then now it's paired. So if I hit next, you can see this is my little setup here showing what's going on. And now I have this camera wirelessly connected to my network. So now we should be good to bring it into Maki Studio. So I'll go ahead and close that app, and then I will open this. And now let's bring in that Maki Live camera into Studio. So once again, on input 2, we will press and hold here. We will hit settings. We will scroll down, and this right here is the camera I'm looking for. And then I'll press back, press and hold, and then enable. And now we have our second camera. So on the control surface now, I have a 2-camera production in Maki Studio. So that's how you can get started just bringing in NDI cameras, whether they're wireless or wired. It's that easy to bring those in. What's great is you can also even bring in NDI feeds that are maybe video players. So on my vMix feed, for instance, I could actually set up, let's do an XL promo video that I'm gonna have here. Let's turn off this, play. All right, so output settings, and then let's do input. Do vMix output 3. All right, so now that I have a video feed set up, I'm gonna bring in that into here as well. So if I press and hold on number 3, we will click on settings, and then I'm going to look for what I just set up, which is vMix output 3. So if I click that and then click back, press and hold, enable, and now I have a video player feed as well. So it's that easy to flip through different cameras or having video feeds come into Maki Studio. Now, the last thing to kind of get kicked off, obviously, is you can either do recording or streaming or both at the same time. And in there, on this on air on the top right, so on the top right of the screen, we have an on air button. If we click that, you'll see a little pop down, and we can actually stream to 3 different RTMP destinations. We can also record, like I mentioned, you can plug in a hard drive as well. You can record to that files drive, so this would show up as a hard drive if you plugged it in, or you can record just straight to photos if you want. Whatever you are having up in the program feed, that's gonna be for Maki Studio, what it records and what it sends out as a stream. So just know that the program feed is always in this top right, and whatever that is gonna be the thing that sends out to the stream. So let's go ahead and just show you in settings, and in a later video we can do a live stream as well, but you'll wanna go down to this settings, stream one destination, and then you'll want to click on this URL and stream key. And this is something that you'll get from YouTube or Facebook, and you can put in that information to start for your streaming destination. So once you enter in that, I will go back to the on air. And then the other thing that you'll want to do is for program duration, if you don't know how long it's going to be, just scroll this up to like 19 hours, press done. And then as soon as you press start, that's when it's going to go live. So that's when it'll begin streaming, and now it's recording actually the program feed to my iPad as well. So that's kind of the quick way to get kicked off with Maki Studio, from plugging in the Bluetooth controller for the first time, enabling the Bluetooth on the camera. The other thing, like I said, is if we want to have our wireless cameras, obviously we connect the iPad to Wi-Fi. If I want all my Ethernet cameras on NDI, I just need to be connected to that network. And then last thing, if we go into our settings and I go over to Ethernet. This you'll see pulls up, and I want to make sure that my IP address is showing up for my hardline NDI network, and that's how Maki Studio is currently seeing both hardlined cameras and the cameras that I connected wirelessly. So just to show that as the last piece of how this is all set up right now, this is the basics of how to get started with Maki Studio. So hope you guys found this helpful, and we will have a video series coming out with more specific and granular instruction videos as well as we deep dive into more topics, because there's a lot to unpack with Maki Studio. So hope you guys enjoy that. For more information, just go to birddog.tv or check out our YouTube channel for further upcoming videos for Maki Studio.